Both shared Spanish colouring, with dark eyes and hair, but that was where the similarities began and ended. Raoul was taller, broader, more imposing. He made Consuelo look almost small.
Oh. But you don't know each other.
Consuelo and I are old friends. So, Raoul uttered slowly, Consuelo and I are old friends. In a measured tone, suggesting they were anything but. Aren't we, Consuelo? The other man's eyes skittered twice now. Skittered with something. I had a spine skittered earlier. Both these people need to be going to doctors.
Yes.
Skittering. It's a common condition. The other man's eyes skittered with something approximating fear before he turned to Gabriella, tugging on his tie.
Philippa said the priest wanted to say a few words.
He said, ignoring the other man as much as it was physically able.
He's waiting for you to begin. Now!
Who says this? There must be Gabriella.
Yeah. Philippa called you?
Was that the phone call that had kept her so long? That was odd. His friend had never before called Consuelo. Gabriella wasn't convinced Philippa even liked him. Unless Philippa had figured, correctly it turned out, that her phone would be switched off, and that Consuelo, with his 24/7 phone addiction, would be a better bet. She nodded. At least that made a kind of sense.
How's a phone addiction? You just leave your phone on, generally.
It's in his pants or something. On vibrate.
Then we should go. Raoul, can we have your lift?
Consuelo stepped closer alongside her, tugging at her arm.
Oh look, the car's waiting. We should get going.
Raoul smiled. Thank you for the kind offer, Gabriella, but I wish to have a few words with your grandmother before I make my own way. He lifted his hand, capturing one of hers as he raised it to his mouth, pressing his warm lips to her skin, his dark eyes glancing up at her as dark tendrils of his hair fell free from his ponytail to dance around the sharp angles and shadowed recesses of his face. Until we meet again, Bella, he said, using his old pet name for her, an endearment she hadn't heard in over a decade. But here remains. That's in italics to them. And then those same eyes turned to meet the other man's, and somehow turned ice cold in the interim. Garbas, he said with a nod. So slowly it took Gabriella only a second to realize he dismissed the other man's hand. Consuelo felt it too, for he took her hand and tugged her away. It's a good moment to say that I think Garbas is actually Spanish for shrimp. Look, I'm pretty sure he is.
Wow, that's actually fairly subtle for a Mills and Boone offer.
I know, because it's all like shrimpy. What's the other guy's surname? Del Arco. I don't know what Arco might mean.
Arc?
It's arc-sized, and the arc was 40 cubits in length. 40 cubits is not bad at all.
Well, maybe it's sort of an opposite thing. Maybe he's just been inside two of every animal.
Well, no, the animals were inside the ark.
I know,
two of every animal have been inside him.
Nice.
Including the female ones.
Yeah, everyone's got their fetish.
Female animals have a Raoul fetish?
I don't know.
Moving on from the implied bestiality of this name, Raoul watched them disappear along the misty path, unable to suppress a growl or a growl.
Grrr!
When Garbas looped the proprietorial arm around Gabriella's shoulders and pulled her in close. For his benefit, he had no doubt. What does this mean?
I don't know. Oh, for his benefit, he had no doubt.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Umberto had been right about the hyena sniffing around, watching and waiting for his chance to strike. Not that he would see a penny of Gabriella's fortune if Raoul had anything to do with it. Not now the dogs. It hadn't taken much. He'd known there would be dirt, and plenty of it if he just dug deep enough. It's a grave.
Yeah.
There's lots of dirt. 6 feet. Keep it, Now we just had to sit back and wait. It wouldn't be long, and then Gabriella would be safe from his touches. Gabriella, it acts. Bella. Forgotten.
In the old accent, in the traditional answer Bella.
Bella, yes. That's Spanish.
Yeah, he is Spanish, isn't he?
Yeah, but Gabriella, I think, is actually an Italian name.
But he's Italian. He's Spanish, so his pet name would be Bella.
Well, maybe he pronounced it correctly, because he's basically the same language. I don't know. I want to look up the etymology of this, because...
But he's Spanish, so he'd be used to...
Well, it comes from the Old Hebrew, doesn't it? Maybe he's pronouncing it correctly with respect to her Jewish heritage.
Besides, Spanish person still pronounce Gabriella as Gabrielle.
Yeah, but it comes from Hebrew. Maybe he's doing it correctly for her. And
she is Jewish.
with her Jewish heritage. So it should be like a Biella.
Gabriella.
It should be Biella if it's the old Hebrew. So that from now on, this is how I should be pronouncing it when I age. Biella. Because he's culturally forgotten for years, lost under the weight of time, yet still the endearment had come to him automatically, as if all he had to do was to see it before it tripped from his tongue. Yet she looked so different now from the last time they had met. When at 12 years they had passed so profitably, for him it had been a period of loss, betrayal, death, and ultimately of his own self-imposed exile. For her, it seemed those years had worked some kind of magic, transforming her from a gangly child into a very beautiful woman.
Well, that puts a face to that theory.
Well, she used to be gangly. Well, we can assume that maybe he's just really horny now.
True, I mean, he hasn't got any since his dead wife.
Yes, and he seems to be really attached to old men, so it's... Okay, so they might as well have been living on different planets. Huddled alongside the grave, her coat lashed. So his coat swirls, her coat lashes.
Really?
Her coat lashed tightly around her slim waist. Her glossy chestnut hair coiled behind her head. She had been almost unrecognizable from the child he remembered. Yet he should have seen it coming. So, he should have seen it
Coming.
Yes. Her mother had been beautiful after all. Half English rose, half Italian royalty. They're fucking with us. They should just tell us their ethnicities at the start.
But she's still Jewish.
She's still Jewish. Half English Jewish rose, half Italian royalty.
Half Italian royalty, Jewish royalty. Half Italian
Jewish royalty, yes. Her father, the creme de la creme of the French Jewish aristocracy. Her heart-shaped face somehow captured the best of all of them. Her mother's cat-like eyes, smooth as silk complexion.
Definitely anime, she's a cat girl.
Yes, her father's passionate mouth, curly sidelocks, and wide-brimmed felt rabbi hat.
And the tail.
No!
No, she's anime, she's a cat girl.
Bad.
She's a Jewish cat girl.
I think I've read that comic once. Beautiful, fragile, much too good for the likes of him. What had Umberto been thinking? What had Umberto been thinking? Dealing with the likes of Consuelo was one thing. But why would he want to saddle his own granddaughter with a broken creature like him? Why make him promise to marry her? I forgot what my voice for Umberto was. It was a deep one. You don't have to love her, Umberto had said, just as well. What would a woman like her want with his love, even if he were able to give it? And why would she waste hers on him? Why would a woman like her ever want to marry him? And why should she have to? Consuelo would soon be history, untouchable, locked away where he could not reach her, and not even someone who saw the good in everyone would want to defend him when she discovered the truth. Raoul would just as simply deal with any other Consuelos if it came to that. He could weed out the hyenas and the jackals, the parasites who came to prey on the rich, beautiful woman. That's a mixed metaphor, with jackals and hyenas like that. He could take care of them all. Sorry, that's probably an innuendo. Ollie, innuendo.
He would take care of them all.
Except then he remembered the touch of her skin, the smooth column of her throat, and the trip of her pulse under his fingertips. Fingertips. He remembered the press of her cheek against his palm. Remembered that moment when she had looked up at him, and he imagined the impossible, had wanted the impossible, for the first time in a long time. Power. Do the impossible, see the invisible. Whoa, that's power. Yes. For the first time in a long time, he had felt his body stirring with want, and that knowledge shamed him. He hadn't meant his fingers to linger. He had wanted just to establish a contact between them, as if that might help eradicate the years that lay between them. But one touch had not been enough, and when a stray strand of hair had blown free from the knot behind her head, he had been unable to resist tucking it away, using the excuse of shrimp boy Cummington to leave it there. It had been worth it just to see the look of unbridled hostility in his eyes. It had been worth even more because he had felt so damned good under his fingers. He squeezed his eyes and shut out a groan.
And went behind a tree, probably.
What was he thinking? She was his oldest friend's granddaughter. The last time he had seen her, she had been 12, and it didn't matter how old she was now. She was still more than a decade younger than him, and he had been charged with taking care of her, not with taking advantage of her. He was supposed to keep her safe.
But what? You got a free pass from your best friend to marry her, which means that honeymoon night, it's all fair game.
By mauling at her grandfather's grave? Not actually, sister. By mauling at her grandfather's grave, He shook his head. I'm sorry, Umberto, but what were you thinking? He muttered as he stood by the grave of his friend, with just the tangle of his conflicted thoughts and the mist company. Why would you make me promise such a thing when no good can come of it? The soft, damp air swirled around him, whispering no answers, offering no solutions, and leaving him with just one truth. He had promised his dying friend it would be so.
So he would make it
End of chapter 1.
So it was prophesied. So,
He's going to bring balance to the Force.
he's the chosen one!